Lynne Spillman is the head casting director for both Survivor and The Amazing Race and has been involved in the show since the very beginning. With over 440 contestants that have played the game, Lynne is always on the lookout for fresh faces to play Survivor and is also using the same skills to ensure the right couples are cast for The Amazing Race. I spoke to Lynne about how close season 30 was to being all returning players, which legendary player she fought hard for to be on the show who Mark Burnett didn't want on initially, which season has her favourite cast of all time, and revealing the truth behind Amber returning for All Stars instead of Elisabeth. Lynne, welcome to Survivor Oz.
Hi, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here, Lynne, and I think we've got you on a very good day, actually, because not only are we here to talk about your career, Survivor, casting, everything like that, but we've got you on the day that we've just seen the new cast for season 30. I bet you've been looking forward to this day for a while. We all get to see it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I actually didn't even know it was getting released this morning until I saw it myself. So, yeah, it's very exciting today, and I'm sure the cast is excited to finally be free to talk about and at least tell friends and family what they were up to.
Well, I can imagine that you obviously meet these people a very long time ago through applications and then getting them in to interview them and everything before the show. So you would see some of these people's excitement when they get on the show. So do you kind of feel for them that period where, okay, guys, be quiet until we officially announce that you're on the show?
Yeah, no, I think some of these people in that cast particularly have been in our mix for years. I mean, really years. That cast has a lot of super fans and people that, you know, we knew we wanted to put them on at some point, but it just weren't fitting into a theme, or it just didn't work. And so it's a cast of people that for a lot of them for a long time they've been wanting to be on. So it was really fun to tell them that they were on.
Yeah, I noticed that Jeff Probst said that this is one of, if not the best cast he feels that they've ever put together. I mean, would you agree with Jeff that kind of the way the cast was put together, it is one of the best ones?
I think it's such a big mix. It reminds me of kind of older seasons, and it's a big, I would say, it covers the whole country, it covers all the ages, it covers a lot of ground. There's got to be someone you relate to on this cast. You know, I hope every cast is like that, but this cast in particular has, you know, everything from, you know, a guy that works in the post office to, you know, someone that's a Yahoo. It's like, it's everything. And one is because the theme, you know, it worked. You know, the theme itself forced us to do that, but also it's just a great bunch of people. It's a great bunch that, like I said, we've been trying to get some of them on for a while, and, you know, it all worked out that they kind of got on the same season.
And the idea, of course, white collar, blue collar, no collar, the whole worlds apart twist, was that something that was sort of always on the agenda, thought up beforehand, or was this kind of one of those seasons where after you've started the casting you kind of thought, well, this would be a good idea, we've got a generic mix of all these people already?
Well, we have made a commitment to cast the best people first and then see what works. And Jeff came up with it. I don't remember how, but Jeff came up with this and was, you know, we were just moving the cards around and he's like, I got it. And, you know, that's kind of how it came to play. We did it. We had the people, and then Jeff came up with it, and we put them in the tribes, and it just worked out. You know, it just worked out. We got really lucky.
One question that I think a lot of people have asked about season 30 is that, you know, given that it's a celebration season 30, 15 years of Survivor, a lot of people have sort of asked the question why this wasn't a returning player season, All-Stars, kind of like a heroes versus villains celebration season. I mean, was that considered for season 30?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely went back and forth on it, and, you know, we wanted to, you know, a lot of things, like, I think fans, like everyone listening, knows that it's season 30 and it's 15 years, and it's a great celebration to all of us and everyone that's been on, and, you know, people that have been watching, but we kind of thought we got to just do the best thing for the show, and everybody was loving no returning players, and we were kind of on a roll and still felt really new again, that we thought, you know, we have such good people, why hold, so let's just do this. So we definitely threw different ideas around too, but this felt fresh, and it's like, you know, season 30 to have like a rebirth of a whole new thing just kind of felt really good for us, and we get to still celebrate 15 years and 30 seasons also.
How are you going to celebrate 15 years, Lynne? Because I could imagine that when you first got involved in casting for reality TV, and, you know, this is so new and fresh, and Survivor so involved in this birth of reality TV, I bet you didn't think it was going to last 15 years at that point.
No, I didn't. I mean, it's so amazing. I'm so happy. Like, it's just it's been a great run. I remember Mark showing me this little 6-minute tape of I can't remember where it was. Another country did a version of it very different than ours, and I was not working. I was taking time off. I had a child, and I was pregnant, and I thought I'm going to take a break. And he brought me in and said, "Look, I know, I kind of didn't want to work." And I said, "I don't want to work, but I will help you do this. I will help. I can help you, and we'll figure out who you should hire, but it's not going to be me." And when I saw it, I went home, and I loved the 6 minutes I saw. I just thought, I have to do this. This is going to be a great show. And, 15 years later, the fact it's still here, it is amazing. It's amazing. And I don't know what I'm doing. I like watching season 1. I still have, I still have a VHS tape that I taped. I just kind of watch season 1 every once in a while and just go back. Because I remember thinking, that was beautiful. It was the prettiest show I had ever worked on. And, now, season 2, it changed a lot, and 3, and now, Helicopter. We had that season 1, but it's just such a cool-looking show.
Yeah, and given that it has been 15 years, of course, casting and decisions in reality TV has adapted so much over that time. But, back in season 1, when you're putting that cast together for Borneo, such an iconic cast for the show, what were the kind of the key elements back then, really, that were looked for that are different, say, from today?
Well, a lot of things that happened, we'll talk about it, the technology and how it's changed our process and how vastly it's different now. But, I cry every time I talk about season 1. I get all choked up. I've been doing it a lot this last couple of weeks, and I really do. It's pathetic. That and this torch walk at the end, which they now took out. There's not a season I don't cry. But season 1, Mark just kept saying, well, I think it needs to be a boat crash and St. Gilligan's Island and, these types, and these people have to be believable that they'd be together, but also I want people that also would never meet. He has ideas that, it was what we got in, and we had to work with the people that applied, and I think it was maybe 2,000, I don't remember, it was not that many people that applied, and we thought we knew what the network wanted. Mark had a pretty clear vision of what he wanted, and we had backups to backups to backups. We didn't know at the end when we left CBS. Well, we knew what it was going to look like. We had ideas we really liked, and it just worked. It was just you wanted people to identify with everybody and know the personality types, and you wanted likable people, and you wanted players, and I didn't even understand the game. I didn't even know they were going to be doing challenges. I knew nothing. I knew I just had to find 16 people from all walks of life that represented all parts of the country and different economic status, different educational backgrounds. That's all I knew, and that it was going to be surviving, and they had to be able to do it. But when I saw that first episode, I was like, whoa, I had no idea.
And then I can imagine for season 2, of course, you said you didn't get that many applicants as season 1. And season 2, it's exploded, and you're probably too many.
Crazy. We had 70,000. Yeah, it was crazy. It was all VHS and I have pictures with me with thousands. Everybody waited till the end to apply. So we had FedEx trucks pulling up, pouring out. 3 huge FedEx trucks. Packages and packages of people applying, and my staff was twice as big, and it was crazy.
Wow.
And it was fun, but it was just such a great thing to be part of. It's been so much fun.
And nowadays, of course, no VHS. I'm guessing it's all pretty much digital now. It's all about the emails.
We're all online now, paperless. Yes. Yeah, it's great.
Makes it so much easier.
It does, but you also see you get a lot. It's funny, the ages. We still do a lot of open calls. The affiliates do these open calls for us, which are great too, because you have people that might be at work, having lunch, and they see a line of people. What's this? They go and say, "What's it about?" And they wouldn't have gone through the trouble to go online and figure it all out, and they get in line and apply, and those people are just as good.
Yeah.
As people that make tapes that make videos online, and yeah, it's really different now. Really, really different.
I'm sure I would understand the one question you would get asked the most is, what tips do you have for getting on? And obviously people inundate you with those sort of questions. But I guess kind of that answer that you would have given to that question has adapted over the years, and particularly we say like social media and all these sort of elements that you have to it now. I mean, I guess it's kind of the question that everybody thinks is an easy answer, what tips or how can I get on Survivor, but I imagine it's a lot more complicated than just a one-off answer.
Well, it is. I mean, the people like that, and like, how do you know when someone's right? You know, and it's a hard thing because it's you know, people catch what I say. It's a gut. It's a gut. It's just your gut is telling you this is, you know, you just have this, like, I saw Philip on the street roller skating, and, you know, I was like screaming at my window, stop. And it was just the presence. There's just so much confidence in his spandex and his, you know, he was dancing to music. He wasn't even speaking, just watching him, I wanted to know more. What is he about? What's his story? And I think I am just intrigued by people and their stories. And so when people apply, I mean, I guess they should know. You know, they send their tape and they fill out the one-page application. Before we even call them, we have checked everything in social media, everything online about them that was possibly designed to make sure that the tape represents them, or that we're not missing something, or, you know, the internet has made it available for us to do so much more research before even the first phone call. Which before, you know, I didn't have email the first season of Survivor. That's how far we've come. Wow. So that, and then we also can find people online, like I said, that may not apply. It might be, you know, doctors, lawyers, I don't know, people that are just, like, want to do it, they watch the show, but they just would never think to do it, and you know, you find them and you call. So I don't know if that's if I answered the question, but how to get on, I think you first, you know, apply. And I think a lot of people make the mistake of telling us why they want to do it. Like, I'm off of school, I have nothing else to do, I'm in a rut. You kind of don't want to hear that. We want to hear why you would be great. What have you accomplished? Why would you be a game changer? You know, what have you done in your life that will show us that you're going to play this? You know, everyone has their stories, but I think a lot of times instead of telling us why they would be great, meaning great player, they tell us why they want to do it. And, you know, sometimes it's hand in hand, but a lot of times it's, I want an adventure, I'm bored, I'm in a run, and it just doesn't, you know, that's not really why we would ever pick anybody.
One thing I've always wondered, because I know a lot of big super fans who are so keen to go on the show, they will start like Facebook pages or groups or like, you know, YouTube channels about, you know, their 30 applications. You know, they're very active on social media, and we got a lot of questions for people simply saying, hey Lynne, put me on the show, hey Lynne, put me on the show. Does that help or hurt someone if they're so actively on social media trying to push themselves on the show?
You know, people don't like this answer, but it's a puzzle, and there may be the right season that they fit perfect, you know, and that's kind of, you know, I would say keep trying because you never know, and it really is a puzzle, and, you know, maybe they're not the people we're starting with because for whatever reason, and it's not about who wants it the most, you know, it's also, as you know, it's not who has the most survivor skills, we don't care. You know, I've been training for this my whole life. I climbed this mountain. I did this. I lived outside for 39 days. That's not what the show is. I mean, we think of it as a social experiment of regular people, you know, that, you know, just got dropped into it. So if you've already had the experience with backpacking for 39 days and, you know, that's not really relevant. It's you know, it's a social, I think more of a social game. We've seen people on the show with no outdoor skills whatsoever, you know, kick ass. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's the fun. Sari, you know, Sari didn't like his dirt the first night, and look how far she came. We love, you know, we love that. She figured out the social element of it to win. You know, I don't know if she's ever won, but gotten far. You know, Sandra, you know, she had some skills that, you know, that she knew, you know, she kind of knew how to operate.
Has there ever been, like, one contestant that really stands out to you that you really fought for to be on the show that perhaps other people didn't really want, and because you fought really hard, they got on the show and maybe they turned out to be, like, a great player or an iconic character of Survivor?
Well, I do remember Sari, when Sari applied, she applied at an open call that her sister dragged her to. And she, you know, her sister was on first, and she said, Sari said something like, I just came because my sister made me, you know, don't pick me, but pick her, and she told me not to say her name, and then she kept saying her sister's name. It was very funny, but she, you know, it's just this funny, very real moment. And Mark Burnett, I had her on my board. I mean, I was like, I love this woman. And Mark came in. He's like, how we doing? I said, I got something good today. And I showed him. He's like, oh, come on. And I said, no, seriously, give me some time with her. She's going to be fantastic. He said, but she doesn't want to do it. I said, yes, she does. She's just saying that. And, that's just, that was just one of those ones where I just had to keep saying, trust me, just trust me. And, I think she was fantastic. But the first impression, what she first gave us was not something that normally someone would get on with.
Yeah, sorry, she definitely turned out to be a great person in terms of the show. One thing that we often, a lot of contestants tell us on this show, when they've got on the show, that, you've approached them in the street, or you mentioned that sort of with Philip before. I mean, when you're out and about, Lynne, are you just constantly just looking at people thinking, yes, no, yes, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I am the worst person to go anywhere with. The worst. You don't even you're on my airplane here. I mean, I am people shopping all day, every day. That is what I do. Honestly, there's nowhere when people sit with me at a restaurant, I always have to be facing out, or I have to walk around at least once, or people will be talking to me, but I'm watching another couple interact, and they're trying to work something out in a relationship, and I'm the one that walks over and says, excuse me, I heard you fighting. Can we talk about Amazing Race? It might be really good for you. And I either get screamed at or looked at like a crazy person, or, they say no, and then they come over to my table and say, yeah. But, yeah, it's constant because you never know. The one, I would say, the one that got away is the one that's going to send me back to find, So I just, and it's, as you can say, I love my job, so it's no problem doing it.
Yes, I can imagine that. Which season do you feel going into it, was the one season that you thought, yep, this season's got such a great cast, but then maybe it disappointed you from expectations, and then was there an opposite that maybe you thought, well, this cast is good, but it's not going to be brilliant, and they really surprised you at how good they were?
I don't know if it's a cast on a whole. Sometimes you get unlucky with, who gets out early, when you had expectations of someone being, this game changer kind of, and then they're out early, and you're like, oh boy, this could be bad, but it always turns out okay. I don't know. I mean, I love the One World cast. I think that when we were casting it, I kind of thought they were going to be... I thought they were all going to be on one beach, and then it was men, women. I mean, I loved everybody on that cast, and I think I don't know how other people feel about it. I read a lot online, but I don't look at the rate, what season people like, because everyone has different opinions, so it's so hard to, I thought China was a great cast, and I can't think of anything I was disappointed by. I'm just trying to think, I think it's more who gets out early, Dave Sampson leaving blood, Judy Bronson, brains, whatever. That was kind of a bummer. And also the first off, which was Garrett. I mean, I just think it would have been funny kind of once they got into it. I mean, I think Dave Sampson seriously would have been a very good player had he lasted a little bit longer. And Garrett, I don't know, but I would have liked to see him.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that about One World, because I love One World, and it's a season that really isn't highly regarded, and particularly half the reason I love One World is exactly for that, the cast. I think it's such a great group of people.
Yeah, I thought the cast was great. I thought all of them were good, and I think Greg Smith, Tori Dan and Tarzan,
yes.
And, but then you had Kim, who, I think it just had it had a lot of good people and kind of similar to the cast and stuff there. It had a lot of variety, and it was a great cast. I just don't know if that man versus I don't know. I enjoyed the season, but I felt like the cast was better than the season was, and I don't know.
I think, as Jeff said in the reunion, and also from what I've had interactions with them, that basically they seem to be the closest of all the cast. They're all very good friends with each other. It doesn't seem to me like anybody in that One World cast dislikes each other.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think the show you're about to see feels the same feeling. I think. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I think that. Maybe they were all too nice, though. I don't know. I mean, I think it was just a fun cast, and I don't know. I think it's more when the boot order is you're just so sad people you wanted to last long or rather early.
Yeah. Was there's somebody you mentioned, kind of Garrett and David, I think there, but was there anybody else really that sort of was one of the first to go that you were just like, oh no, they were like my number one or something like that?
Well, people will be mad at this, but I would have liked to see Rocker for a few more weeks. That would have been fun. Same with Cliff. I mean, not just because they, are athletes and, a lot more people know who they are. I just think that Cliff figured it out just a little bit too late, and he would have been really fun. I loved watching him do the baskets and, them throwing the challenge. It was crazy. Those are people I would have liked to see evolve a little more, Who else I wish had lasted? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't want to give it. The season that's about to air is a year to me so old that I'm like I have to really think before I talk, and I don't know everything, so I'm nervous.
No spoilers. No spoilers, Lynne.
I know. I don't want to. Trust me. I don't want to. Yeah.
You're probably already kind of in mindsets of other seasons that we don't even know exist yet. So we'll just keep.
Completely. When we were getting on the call, I actually had to look at a piece of paper to remember who we were going to be talking about because I am so into next year. It's crazy. I'm already in my head thinking how things are going to work out. I have, Amazing Race. I'm like, I had to go back and think of what we're going to be talking about.
What, I don't know how this is of a question to answer, but is Survivor or The Amazing Race easier to cast? Can you distinguish between the both of them?
Yeah, there's such differences at each part of casting for both shows, because Amazing Race, I don't know how much our fans know about finals and when they're sequestered and everything. And when you have a partner like you do for Amazing Race and you can talk through how that interview went or what's going on and you're not alone, it's much easier. So casting finals, the casting itself, they have each other, but sometimes we'll call one partner and say, hey, we need this, and they get them, it's like whisper down the lane, they get it wrong, and then the next partner comes. So, that can be confusing, but I think, Amazing Race, I wouldn't say easier. It's just you have two people working on things if you need stuff, and also sometimes people's personality with their sister or with their father, they come out. You're not as insecure, I guess. It is what it is. I have sisters, and I know what we would look like. But when you have a team of two sisters and it doesn't look like what sisters should look like, you're like, you say, okay, be real or get out, because we know what sisters should look like. No sisters get along like that, so bye. Same, and I guess, I'm older, I'm probably older, on my team every time I do it. I've been married, I have a lot of life experiences, so when you have a dating couple that is either not being real or being, over the top fake, you kind of can tell. With Survivor, it's like, okay, this is how the person's presenting themselves, and you have to do a lot more digging to see what's real and what's not real, and, it's just different, and, I don't know, Survivor's are hard. I don't know. I think everyone says Amazing Race, everybody says it's way harder than it looks. It's like doing a marathon every 2 days, and I always tell the people that too, because they don't get it. But, Survivor is just so uncomfortable. It's just the most uncomfortable thing you've ever done in your life. So I guess it's harder when you're finding people on the street to talk them into doing Survivor. Like if we're talking about recruits, and harder to cast. It's easier. People want to do race. You get to do it with somebody. You get to see the world. It's fun. It seems more fun. But the real strategists and the hardcore game players, they want to do Survivor, and that's why they want to do it, because it is harder.
What would you rather do, Lynne? Would you rather do The Amazing Race or Survivor?
Oh, I'd be horrible on those. I would like, I think,
maybe Big Brother.
Well, no, I wouldn't do Big Brother. I'd go crazy in a house. I would probably say Amazing Race, though I would play it more like Survivor strategic. Right. I would probably be more Robin Amber. I would be getting people voting. I'd be getting people off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be fun to be playing against, and I probably would be
that'd be fun to watch. To watch.
Yeah, but Survivor would be hard. I think I could do it, but I wouldn't do it.
That's a good way. I'm kind of like that.
Yeah, I think I'd be good. I think I play Survivor every day. It's hard.
Yeah.
stopping between shows and everything, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like that. I think I mentally could do Survivor. It's just the living in like the wilderness that I couldn't do. So like I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's same with me. That, and I think that I would be, I think when I started this and I was the young 20-something, I was like, yeah, for sure, Survivor, I can do it. Now I'd be the old lady out there, so I really, that's probably why I'm saying no.
Yes. Now, I'm going to get to some listener questions because we got a heap, and I want to get through some of these quickly before we close this out. But one question that I've got to ask you, Lynne, because this is something that I want to know, a lot of people want to know, and I think a lot of fans, this is the dream season, all winners season. Is it something that has been talked about? Is it something that can happen? And what's your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are I would love to see it. But it would feel like the end, and I just don't want to ever have that feeling. Mm-hmm. So I guess if we were told this is it, yeah, that's exactly how you'd want to go out. But, I would love to see it too, and I would love to do it, and of course we talked about it, but to me it would feel like it was the end of something.
It'd be a perfect way to go out, absolutely, I agree with that. So don't do an all-winner season for another 20 years then, Lynne, when it's up to what, like, season, 120 or whatever that would be, so...
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe, I don't know with the numbers. Anyway, we're going to get to the listener questions, and I will say that I think we've gotten a record amount of questions here. This was incredible, the amount of questions we got for you, Lynne. I'm going to get through some of these. A lot of these have been answered. A lot of them were very similar. And to people who sent me through audition tapes, well, look, maybe I'll speak to Lynne after this and see if she wants them. But I've got no bearing in Survivor.
We watch everything. Just so you know, people that got it in late, we watch all year round, and we watch everything, and almost everything gets watched twice because somebody's eyeballs or somebody's experience with the show might be different than somebody else's. So everybody should know, if you apply, we watch it. I promise. And we, some people get called 15 minutes after they send it in and they're like, wait, I just sent it.
Wow.
We do watch everything, and like I said, sometimes twice.
Wow, there you go. All right, let's go to this one here. Andrew Blank says, where was the most unusual place that you ran into a contestant that you have previously recruited?
Well, I have re-recruited contestants a bunch of times, and I make a joke. Actually, Reynolds is, Reynolds, what was he on? I can't, to me, they're all numbers. So.
26.
Yeah, so Reynolds, I was meeting friends for lunch, running into a food court at a mall, and he was coming through the door, and I was practically banged into him. And I said, "Oh my God, wait, stop! I can't tell you." And I said, "Would you ever do it?" I mean, my recruiting is just, "Hi, I work on Survivor. Give me your number. We'll talk," and that's it. And if they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. That's all I say. I don't sit there with a big spiel or song and dance. So he gave me his number, and I sat down with my girlfriends, and they're like, "Who is that?" And I said, "Yeah, I want him to be on Survivor." And they're like, "Oh my God, he's so cute," and whatever. And he was charming, and he was very nice in the 2 seconds we had. And then, that was it. We weren't really casting. I don't remember time of year, but I had months. And I said to him, "You're not going to hear from me for a while, but, I will definitely call you." And then I would say maybe 3 months later, I was casting, and I was on a run with my husband in Santa Monica, and we were running, and I had my hair totally different. I had my hair up in ponytail on workout clothes, and this couple runs by, this guy and girl run by me, and I looked at my husband, I looked at him with that look like, sorry, and so I go and I run after them, excuse me, and because the guy was with the girl, I said, "Would you ever be on Amazing Race?" But I really was going just for the guy. And, he said, he's like, "It's so funny, I was waiting for a phone call, I met someone named Lynne at a mall," and I said, "Oh, that was me." I didn't realize it was him, and he didn't realize it was me. Wow. But I have done that a couple times. So the double recruit is always funny.
Well, Andrew also says, in terms of that, random places as well. He says here, "I heard that Johnny Fairplay was discovered at a bus stop."
Oh, so it's not yet. I mean, I guess that is the weirdest one. I was getting gas for my car. My family was in the car, and I saw Johnny Fairplay, looking like Johnny Fairplay, a little bit crazy, and he was in a tracksuit, but just like a cool, like a retro tracksuit. Yep. So But he was like leaning against the bench, smoking a cigarette, hair long, and he kind of looked, this can sound horrible, a little homeless. And I was like, wow, that's like but his outfit was kind of cool though.
Yeah.
So I was torn, but I thought, if he's homeless, that's amazing. And if he's not, he's still, I need to talk to him. So I went up to him and, asked, do you watch Survivor? He said, I think he said no. And I said, well, can I call you? I'll give you my number. I'll call you. I said, you call me on Monday. We got to do this. We'll research the show a little bit. And, I talked to him pretty quick, but it was at a gas station.
Wow.
It was at a gas station, and he definitely wasn't, he reminded me later he was actually with the car, but he wasn't filling the car with gas. Like, he was just sitting there smoking a cigarette on a bench.
Wow. That's a good, at a gas station. Cigarettes, that's smart.
At a gas station, yeah.
There you go. The rest is history.
Yeah.
Ralph Jenkins here. This is a good question. Any plans for a second chance season? Would love to see players such as Kobe Archer, Billy Garcia, Kelly Wentworth, and some others return.
Yeah, isn't all returning player seasons a second chance?
True.
Anytime we do it, it's a second chance season. But yeah, I don't know if they're on the list. I know they want to play. I don't know, we'll do second chances all the time, and we, for sure we'll be doing some in the future, I'm sure. Do you remember Amber played the first time, and when we were doing the first All-Stars, we were still trying to put tribes together and come up with stuff, and Amber wasn't on anybody's list, and I just remember saying, this is a girl that applied. She just turned 21. She was living at home with her parents. She had no life experience, and I guess it was 3 years later or something like that. I said, I've been keeping in touch with her a little bit, and I think she's grown up so much, and she never called me and said I regret how I played or I was so quiet. Like, she never said anything. But just watching, hearing what was going on and how much she had grown, I remember saying, it'd be really fun to see how that 21-year-old plays now at 24. I think she's going to kick ass. I think she's going to be ruthless. I think she's going to play the game. I think we're going to see a different person. I think it's going to be a really cool thing for the audience to see. And it was. And so, I don't know if it's how we make the decision, but you're kind of thinking, did we get the most out of them that we're ever going to get? Or what would we what do we think it's going to, look like? And that's, what is that's kind of how you're picking the second chances or third chances, and, how will the game evolve, and also who you're putting them with.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. And Amber's always that interesting one, I think. I don't know. We've had Mark Burnett on the show before, and we kind of try to get some names out of him from All Stars, and I don't know what you'll give us. But, a long-standing rumour with that is that Amber also was picked because Elisabeth said no. But, kind of what you just said there kind of really sold Amber well, that you really wanted her no matter what.
Oh, no. I don't. No, I think we would have played both of them. No, I don't think one had to do with the other, okay. And I can't remember. I don't even remember. I just think it was something that we knew, for me, that doing All-Stars is not about picking the best players that have ever played. It was about, for Amber, it was kind of like, it would be really interesting to see the change. We don't have to have all, the best players that ever played. I thought it was kind of where are they now and how would they play different too.
Okay. This one's sort of on the same page here. Mark Anthony Nunez Salcedo. Now, he's sent a lot of questions, but I love this one here that he says, who are your top 5 holy grail of returning players? Meaning that if you can magically get them to say yes no matter what, so like the Colleen Haskells that she's kind of mentioning here, who are the 5 that you would just want back no matter what?
Oh, I don't know. I would say Greg Buick.
Yes.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I would love to see Greg Buick play now. I would like Colleen. I'd like to just see season 1 play all of them again.
Yes.
I really would. I would love to see that. Where are they? How's the life change? How much harder or not would they play? Or did they not change at all? I think Jervis is the funniest. Jervis had all these years to mull it over, and he did great. But it's just funny that, come on, dude, learn to swim and step it up. You knew you were going on again, Yeah, I do. I there's a lot I would like to see play again. There's a lot I wouldn't like to say, but I'm going to be like Mark and not name names. But thank you. It's definitely at the top of my list.
I was going to turn around and say, who are the blacklisted ones there, Lynn? But I don't think you'll answer that question.
No, not going to say.
Now, here's an interesting question here, because it kind of starts off strange, but it's actually, it's a good question because it relates to both the shows that you cast for. Zach Attack, that's the name he's given us, says, there have long been rumours that Boston Rob and Amber were prevented from winning The Amazing Race by production because of their involvement with Survivor. Now, Natalie has won Survivor. What is the relationship like when casting cross-franchise participants?
It's all fine. Everybody, I don't know anything about when Boston, I don't know. First of all, they would never put people on and say you can't win. And I think if you ask people that have played these, why would people keep coming back if they thought production had a hand in any of it? But I like the cross because I love when there's a couple that met on Survivor. I mean, the whole thought was with Rob and Amber, they met on Survivor. That's where it started. Now can the relationship and Amazing Race, and also with Amazing Race and Survivor, so many people to remember and so many faces and personalities to remember. So when you have returning players, half them are returning players, or Rob and Amber on Amazing Race, it's like, okay, we know them. Now we just need to get to know these 10 teams. It's just a little easier for the audience. And I think, they're well liked and kids like them, and you want to see, you saw how they played Amazing Race, Survivor, and now can handle it. But I think the producers of those shows, they like it. They don't mind it. If it helps the show and if it makes sense, yeah, we like doing it. And someone like Hayden, Hayden had originally applied to Survivor and Big Brother. It was a good spot that they had. Like I said, it's a puzzle. So he went there and then came back. So, we're all friends, and, we're talking about blacklist. It's hard to go back, but I want to make clear, I don't have the final say on anything. I'm like someone that's handing a menu over saying, here's really good food, it's all great, pick what you want. I'm giving you the best of what's available, this is what I'm going to recommend, but, there's so many people that go into the decision making of all these casts for both shows. But, the crossover, we like, the crossover is fun. We like to do it. I think, Blood Water for Natalie and Nadia is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm going to obviously finish this up. I've got one here that asks, just quickly, actually, somebody mentioned here in terms of Blood vs. Water, when's John and Jacqueline going to be on The Amazing Race? Carl Hageman asks that one.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
The final one I'll ask you, this one's good because this one's kind of different. We obviously got so many questions relating to how do I get on the show, what tips, when you cast Canadians, and all these sort of the regular questions. But this one was very different, and I wanted to save this one to last year because this one's related to your career and not necessarily casting to get on the show. Eric Danforth says, hi, can I ask Lynn what advice she would give somebody who wants to become a casting director or get involved with casting reality shows?
See, I think I have the greatest job on the planet, and I can't believe I don't get asked that question more because I think it's so much fun, and I love what I do, and I am shocked that more people don't go through our process and then come back and ask, how do I do what you do or be part of your team? How do you get on? Call me. Send me an email. I'll tell you. It's not, I have certain questions. You need to watch a lot of TV. You need to see a lot of movies. You need, for these shows, you need to know the shows. Because if I say, we're looking for a Colby, you need to know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't, look it up online. I need a game changer. If you don't know Survivor, you don't know what a game changer is. So, for these particular shows, is different than casting a game show, but I would say for Survivor, Amazing Race, we're at the point where you do need to know the show pretty well. But for casting just real people, I can give anybody, that's how I started, and, I was lucky enough to get on these shows, but, I'm happy to talk to anybody, and I love, we have recruiters. I have people all the time that say, I think I'd be really good at it, and we say, send us some people. I have a staff of people now. I have people that either were on, I don't know if Jody works for me. She was on Amazing Race, and she just said, she's like, I'm a flight attendant. I meet people all the time. Can I work for you? And I said, well, can't pay until you start sending me some people to make sure we're on the same page, and I give descriptions and, what we look for, a little bit more specifically. And, and she was right on, and she liked doing it, and, she pretty much works full time for me now. But we start small because a lot of people think, oh, I'd be great at this, I love it. But then I say, okay, go to a concert or go out tonight, find me some people, and let's talk, send me some pictures and phone numbers, and we'll see. And I'll call them and talk it through. And either I call the people that found and they have no interest, or they, are, they're friends with them at theirs and they just want to do a favor. So, it's a mix. So we're totally open to trying anybody that thinks they'd be good at it and it goes out a lot and knows the show. You never know where the next, the next person's going to come from.
There you go, Eric. There you go. I'll pass your details, Eric, on to Lynne, and there you go. You can chat, have that. I like that question. That was a great way to close it out. Lynne, I want to say this has been an absolute pleasure. I obviously understand you don't do a lot of interviews, so we really do appreciate your time here on the show. Thank you so much. Best of luck for Worlds of Art. We're looking forward to seeing how this cast will play out, and obviously all the casts in the future that we hope will go on for many, many more years. So keep us at least in the job here too, Lynne. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Lynne Spillman, casting director from Survivor, The Amazing Race, and absolute pleasure to have her on. And I did mention in the interview that we did get a near record. I'm going to call it a record because I'm looking here at my notes and my listener questions that I did get sent in. I'm seeing 3.5 pages worth of questions here. Amazing, and it's up there. I think our record might be the Amanda Kimmel interview. We've got a bucket load of questions. I know the Greg Bewis and the Brian Heideck ones were also up there in terms of the amount we got, and obviously a lot for Mark Burnett. The big names, really, but I'm pretty sure that the Lynne Spillman one has broken the record for questions here on Survivor Oz. And I will say that obviously we didn't get to a lot of the questions. A lot of the questions were very similar, and a lot of the questions in terms of, will you cast me, all these sort of ones too. We obviously didn't have the time to put those ones there, but I will thank everybody who sent the questions through. We read every single one of them. We chose the ones that we obviously deemed to be the best ones there, and given the time frame that we had as well, we got a few in there. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Great interview. Great to have Lynne on the show, and a fantastic insight there as well into a lot of the casting process, as well as some other behind-the-scenes elements. I will say that Worlds Apart is just around the corner. Our preview episode is being recorded tonight, and we hope to get that up to you very, very shortly. And we are going to be continuing the season coverage. It's going to be a little bit different perhaps in terms of timing. Certain situations around the Survivor Oz offices are preventing it from maybe being as consistent. It might be a few days delayed in terms of when it's up, but we're going to be working this out as the season goes along, so stay tuned for that. I will say that next Tuesday, of course, we do have the live reveal, the top 25 episodes in the history of Survivor as voted by you. You got a day left to vote in that, people, so get onto it right now. There's a very close moments and episodes in terms of where they are on the top 25 list, so make sure that you do get there to vote, and make sure your favourite episode doesn't miss out. And the big one that we also have starting at the end of this week, end of next week I should say, we've only just finished recording this week. It took us 34 hours worth of podcasting. We thought it was only going to take us 15, and it's taken us more than double the amount of time. We sat down and ranked every single contestant in the history of Survivor. All 442 contestants that have ever played the game. And we did it. We ranked them, and they are there and ready for you to go. They will be starting next week, so make sure you tune into those. There's a lot of episodes, but they will all be put out before Worlds Apart. So get there. And start guessing. Tell us who you think the top 10 will be, the top 20. It's a long process, and it's a very stressful process. Can I just add that as well? But stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in to Survivor Oz. Thanks to Lynne Spillman again. Stay tuned via survivoroz.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Remember, you can leave us feedback, and we always do read all your messages, and we thank you for all your support. My name is Ben. The tribe has spoken. We will speak to you next time on The Trains.